What's up, everyone? Mike here from tastylive with another episode of Options in Action. If you've missed the previous episodes, this is a series where I'm talking about old whiteboard videos where we're looking at concepts and strategies, but we're giving it more of an advanced twang, and we're looking at the platform itself, talking about certain concepts that I'm using today and how it applies to everyday trading. We talked about expirations last time, and today I wanted to talk about letting an option expire in the money and ultimately taking shares of stock. Also, we can talk about expiration risk and assignment risk and how it's not something that I'm worried about at all. I think we can wrap those up into one and kind of just give you a nice package of ways to think about expiration and why not to be afraid of assignment risk, especially if you have defined risk spreads or an in-the-money short put or in-the-money short call, something like that. So let's dive into the tastytrade platform and we'll break it down for you. So we're looking at SPY right now. As you can see, SPY has had a massive rally from the lows of this year. In April, we were all the way down at 635-ish. Now we're sitting at 755. Just an insane run to the upside. And maybe that has resulted in the money options. So for those that don't know yet, if you have an in-the-money option, it's ultimately going to expire and turn into shares of stock. So if I have a 760 put, for example, that is in the money, I will ultimately be assigned 100 shares of SPY at 760. Same thing with the opposite side. If I have an in-the-money call, a short option that's in the money, and it is assigned or it expires in the money, I will be basically have 100 short shares of stock at 750. Now, a lot of times we're not really dealing with assignment risk because we're rolling our options positions out in time. And really, assignment risk is highest when you don't have a lot of extrinsic value in your option strike. So even with a 750 call that's in the money, 15 days to go, there's still $600 of extrinsic value that somebody would be giving up to exercise this option and turn it into shares of stock. In other words, they're taking $600 and lighting it on fire. That's why I don't really worry about assignment risk, because it just doesn't happen all too often. I've been trading for over 10 years, and I've been assigned maybe 3 times, 4 times maybe. And one of them was a celebration. In this case, it was literally like I had an in-the-money option that had $200 or so of extrinsic value, and I woke up the next day. I was assigned on it. I got the shares and kept that money, the extrinsic value. I closed the shares, and I just resold the option, and I basically doubled my credit overnight. So that's another thing. If you are assigned early and there's plenty of extrinsic value associated with your option still, it can actually be a benefit to your position. The only situation where that would not be the case is if you had a dividend that you had to pay. So like with an in-the-money call at 730, for example, let's say SPY had a dividend of $400, there's $288 of extrinsic value here. The counterparty would give up their $280 of extrinsic value to get the $400 dividend. So in that case, it's a net positive for that counterparty. And that is the circumstance where you can get assigned early. Your options can be converted to stock early if there's a dividend where the dividend exceeds the extrinsic value left in the option. But other than that, like you can look at these options here, like this is a 715, 720 option. It's 35 points in the money, and it still has $200 of extrinsic value. This is still an option that has a low assignment risk here. So not really worried about options that turn into shares of stock. What I do want to bring up is how it can actually change your risk profile for the better in a lot of cases. So yes, if you have a spread, so like let's say you've got a 755, 750 put spread, right? You're kind of teetering on this short option here. This is a defined risk trade. However, if SPY drops significantly and over time someone exercises this short put, you're still left with the long put here that protects your risk, right? Because a short put converts into 100 shares of stock. A long put represents 100 short shares of stock beyond the strike to the downside. So even if I have a short put spread and I'm assigned 100 shares of stock in SPY, if I can hold that buying power, that's the big caveat. If I can hold that buying power, that would certainly be increased relative to this $300 buying power here for this narrow spread. It actually increases my max profit substantially, potential max profit substantially. And that's because the most I can make from this spread is just the credit I received on entry. However, if SPY drops like a rock and I'm assigned on this short put and I still have this long put, as long as I have the long put, my risk profile doesn't change on that package. But I would now have 100 shares of SPY with a static delta of 100, which means if the market dropped dramatically and I get assigned on the short put, I still have the protective long here. If the market rebounds and now all of a sudden we're back at 755 and beyond, I'm making money on those 100 shares of stock where I wouldn't have been making that money on the shares, because with just this options trade, I can only make the credit received. So another situation where that makes a lot of sense is just like take the shares and just use the shares as a static delta lever is in products that are smaller priced, and maybe you've sold a put and you're trying to roll the put forward. Under Armour stands out to me because I already have 100 shares of Under Armour for this exact reason. But let's say you sold a put and these options expirations, there's not too many here, but let's just say you sold the 7.5 put or like the 10 put. You can see there's very little extrinsic value here. The deltas are super high. And if you were assigned 100 shares of stock in Under Armour, yes, you can only make the amount of the put if you sell this put. And I think that's the big key here. If you're assigned 100 shares, you now have unlimited upside potential on how much you can make if the market does recover to the upside. So the deeper in the money a short put goes, the closer it gets to 100 delta, the less extrinsic value you're going to have. So if you're thinking of rolling a deep in the money put and you're trying to roll it, let's say from July to August or something like that, and you're not picking up a lot of credit, but you have a really high delta on your short put, it actually might make sense to consider taking the shares of stock where you no longer have a option that you can only make as much as the option's worth. You would have 100 shares of stock where you can make a lot more to the upside. So that's pretty much it when it comes to options that expire in the money. I mean, again, I don't really hold things to expiration to risk that. That is one of the things that we should talk about, though. Like if you have a spread that's teetering in the money and out of the money, if you let the spread expire and you're assigned on the short put and your long put goes away, now you don't have the same risk profile. You still have the 100 shares that you're assigned on the 755, but you would no longer have the protective put down here. So something to consider, but deep in the money options that have no extrinsic value, if you take the shares instead, you have a higher max profit going forward, and you have the same risk profile as you did with the deep in the money short put or deep in the money short call. But you now have the static delta in the shares, where a short option that's deep in the money, if it starts to rise towards the at the money price, you can only make the amount of the option itself. So again, deep in the money options, close to 100 delta with no extrinsic value. In almost all cases, your max profit is higher if you just convert the shares, if you're willing to do that. If not, you'd have to manipulate the strategy and change the risk on it by rolling out in time and moving it if you can. But those options that are super far in the money are trading like stock basically anyways. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to the tastylive channel if you haven't already. But yeah, let me know if you've ever been affected by a short option that had a couple $100s of extrinsic left, not a dividend stock, but like maybe someone made a mistake. Maybe the counterparty made a mistake. They converted to shares. You get to keep that premium. You sold out of it again. It's only happened to me once in 10 years. So hopefully that kind of stuff happens to you guys more often. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next episode of Options in Action.